Have you seen the Manti Te'o documentary?
No, I've heard it's fantastic. I remember that so well because I love college football, and that storyline was great. And they had an amazing season, and he was actually an amazing player that season too.
I just watched it. I watched the very beginning of the first episode, and it's interesting immediately. And I don't know if this is the way that culture has dictated my feelings to be. I don't know if 10 years ago I would have felt differently because of this. But the person who perpetuated the hoax, the Cat Fisher, is now a trans woman. Trans woman? Yes. Yeah, trans woman.
Okay.
And so immediately I went, and then she's telling the story of like, have we really been going for an hour and 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Immediately she starts explaining that this character that she created was a way for her to escape and live this other life. And immediately I just got very empathetic to that person, really empathetic to that person. And I was like, oh man, like, wow, this is going to be a crazy story. And then I stopped watching it.
Yeah.
I stopped watching it, and I think I said somewhere like, oh yeah, man, my heart really broke for that young lady. And they're like, you haven't seen the whole fucking thing? Dude. I walked away going, Manti Te'o, everyone deserves to give Manti Te'o $1 in this country and set him up for the rest of it. He's probably fine with money, but set him up for the rest of his life and let him find a place to allocate those dollars because he's a great person.
I've heard nothing but that.
But did you know, I didn't know that people just started calling him gay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I didn't realize that.
Yeah. He got incredibly bullied by so many people, especially online, Yeah.
Online.
It got brutal.
And but I had no idea that they were like, because I remember when this happened, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. How the fuck? What is this? Like, is this not a joke?
I sent him one of those where you cut the letters out of the newspaper clippings, and it said like homo, and I mailed it to him.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. Yeah. I said all Notre Dame players are homos.
I texted him last night.
He did. What'd you text him?
I was watching the documentary. I was just like, you're a bigger man than me. Like, I fucking would lose. I would have put a fucking gun in my mouth.
It would be terrible.
If the fucking world.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? I think he was. I mean, I'm not speaking on behalf of him, but from what it looked like, he was probably a virgin. He's very, very, very religious.
He was very religious.
He's a Mormon.
I want to say he was a Heisman hopeful that year.
He was. It was him, Johnny Manziel, and T.J. Bradley. I don't know. I just made that name up. The guy looked like a T.J. Bradley. And but it was him, Johnny Manziel. That was an interesting Heisman class.
Yeah.
But imagine being extremely.
Was here.
Can I tell you? I sometimes think it's not fair that Johnny Manziel turned out the way he did. Who's the other guy? K-State. You don't recognize that guy?
That is.
I'd love to know that guy's story.
That's the quarterback from what? Oklahoma?
K-State.
K-State?
Yeah.
What?
Johnny Manziel, Manti Te'o, and who?
I can't.
They don't even have his name. I bet he's like, hey man, can you guys just drop it? I took one picture of these two guys.
Why am I not?
But think about like Manti Te'o is a great person top to bottom. Has always done the right thing.
Yeah.
His parents say there was two things he said, yes, dad, and yes, mom. Mm-hmm. Never questioned them. Busted his ass. Lived in a life of God in the Mormon church. Followed the Lord. When the Lord gave him direction, he went, I got you. It's not maybe what I want to do.
You're right. You're right. K-State quarterback Colin Klein. Okay. I don't remember him.
He committed a bank robbery, I think. This is an interesting Heisman class. And so, I'm joking. But he does all the right things. Finds a girl online that's gorgeous. Doesn't know, he's naive at best. Yes. Very naive. Doesn't want to admit to people, I've just been chatting online. But he says, I met her. Is told she dies. He doesn't do one thing wrong. He doesn't do not one thing did he do wrong, except for maybe lying to his dad and saying I've met her because he was embarrassed.
Right.
And then all this shit happens to him. You You want to talk about life not being fucking fair?
Yeah.
You do everything right, and you don't lie at all, and then fucking that shit happens to you, and then especially as a religious person, you know, I mean, I'm sure the Mormon Church isn't like super cool with gay people. You get branded as a homosexual. Yeah. And then you still get married, you still have a family, you go back to Hawaii and you live a great life. Yeah. And he's forgiven the dude who catfished him. He's forgiven all the people online that have gone after him. And he goes, you know, it's hard. People say you want a picture, and I know that same person trashed me online probably a year ago. And as I sent that text message, I went, did I ever make a Manti Te'o joke? Yeah. I'm sure. I mean, I didn't know people were calling him gay.
I think the thing that registered the most is I remember, you know, the story is that you immediately empathize with like, oh my God, this is humiliating. You know, yes. I have a sensitivity to humiliation. I think, you know, like, I don't like to humiliate people. You know
I don't.
Mean?
Yeah.
Like I'll burn someone in the crowd for saying, but like I don't like the idea of like somebody comes in here and like I'm gonna fucking embarrass this guy. Yeah. So like when I remember seeing that story and being like, man, feeling that, how horrible that must feel to be like so exposed. I think you get so exposed that you actually probably get past. You know what I mean? When everybody shames you, you're just like, I mean. Now it's like it's known. There's the shame almost probably goes away because
Shane Gillis has talked about it.
Really?
Yeah, about what that is like, and he said it's just surreal. Yeah, it's surreal, and there's there's a select group of people that have experienced that. I pray to God I never have to deal with it. I mean, I just pray to God that like for whatever reason, I mean, like, but that's possible. Yeah, I'm not saying I'm trying not to speak in absolutes anymore because I always say like I don't drink and drive. Yeah, well, I did one time. I definitely did as an adult one time. I definitely did. Yeah. So like I'm trying not to speak in absolutes, but like that. Can you imagine? You didn't do anything wrong. You didn't do anything wrong, and then that happens.
Mm-hmm. He said he went from there's Manti Te'o to there's Manti Te'o.
Yeah.
The shift.
I mean that.
There's that gay guy.
He was a good-looking dude, too.
Yeah, he is. He still is.
A good-looking dude. Jacked.
Yeah. He's a fucking all-American linebacker, man.
God damn it.
Bert and Tom, Tom and Bert. One goes topless while the other wears a shirt. Tom tells stories and Bert's the machine. There's not a chance in hell that they'll keep it clean. Here's what we call 2 bears, 1 cave.